Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video that was actually requested by one of my viewers, Shondell Rivers, mentioned that I should make a video talking about virtual reality. Now, I do want to make a few, mention a few caveats, and that is that I know virtually nothing about virtual reality. And while from a certain perspective, I'm welcome to new technologies and new ways of experiencing things. I haven't been an adapter at all, whether it be PC or console or that. First of all, I don't even own a PC. But one of the reasons why virtual reality for now has kind of slipped under the radar, even though I remember being very excited about it 20 years ago when the first prototypes were coming out, or even longer, is that it just, right now, it just doesn't really seem like it's a very mature product. I keep hearing about things like the screen door effect and whatnot, and just the lack of substantial titles. Not to mention, from an immersion standpoint, one of the reasons why I got a 75-inch television is so that I could feel more immersed in the game, so I could see more of the detail. And I also like, in that spirit, I also like to play with other people, namely couch co-op, whether it be with a bunch of buddies, just sharing a pizza and maybe having some beers or whatever, or playing with my girlfriend, which is the main person that I played with, especially in the last couple of years. That's basically the reason why I haven't been too big into it. It just didn't seem like it provides as big a payback for the things that you lose, and how much more immersive is it going to be when I'm sacrificing the camaraderie, playing with other people. So it just doesn't seem like it'd be something fun, having a headset, not being able to see anything going around me, when I like to play with people. Now, having said that, if it does advance, if it does mature, then I may be interested. So I guess what this video is going to be about is what it would take, slash my predictions for what VR could or should be in the future for the PlayStation 5. I know some of the rumors that we were hearing from semi-accurate, and I apologize to everybody for not having mentioned that before. I just plumb forgot who it was that was basically leaking all the PlayStation 5 information. They were saying that there's going to be a baked-in hardware support for PlayStation VR with the PlayStation 5. So having said that, for me to really get into it, they would need to go a long way in getting rid of the screen door effect, and they'd have to give us considerably more sharpness and fidelity. And when I think of that, I think of something that's already been released, the HTC Vive 2.0, or Pro, I think it's called. The Pro, Vive Pro from HTC. That to me seems like a headset or headset technology that would be the minimum to get me invested in VR for the PlayStation 5. Having said that, I understand that it's a very expensive headset right now, so I would imagine that it would be quite some time in the future before they would release it on the PlayStation 5 as far as VR would be concerned. Not to mention, you would need a huge upgrade in visuals to get me interested. It would really have to take me somewhere else and do something very, very special for me. I actually thought to myself, I thought, if I get a PC here within a year, and I'm thinking of a machine within anywhere from 16 teraflops to, I guess, 20, or whatnot, somewhere in that range. It might make sense to go ahead and invest in the HTC Vive Pro. And that was until I found out how much that bad boy was going to cost. The headset itself, I think, is $800, and then you're looking at another $300 or $400 for the other controllers, and then for a wireless setup, that's another few $100 more. So potentially upwards of $1,200. That's going to be almost what I'm going to pay for my PC alone. So not really feeling that. So if I were to ever really get into a virtual reality kind of situation, then the PlayStation VR 2.0 would be where it's at. But again, you're looking at 90 frames a second. I would want it to be wireless, and I would also want there to be a reason to do it. And the only thing I can really think of right now, yes, the little gimmicky games would be great. Maybe some standalone titles. I don't think my heart at 45 years old could handle virtual reality Resident Evil on a PlayStation 5. So I'm not sure that'd be the best move for me. I might quit downloading videos if that ever happens. It's probably because I made the mistake of playing one of those horror games in VR. But what I would think, other than the horror games and other than those gimmicky little demos, I think maybe if there were sections of a game that were in VR, maybe like a Star Wars game where you could jump into a starfighter and then just, you know, you're immersed in that starfighter technology. You're in a 360 world, you know. So imagine doing, especially if they release a classic Star Wars trilogy, 9th gen or PlayStation 5 Star Wars game where you get to basically run through the original trilogy, but with movie-like visuals and whatnot. And there's segments where you can do the virtual reality. So Battle of Hoth, the trench run on the original Death Star, Battle for Endor when you're fighting in the Death Star, those kind of things. Asteroid Field during the Empire Strikes Back. Those kind of situations, I think, you know, you can say, okay, you know, right now the game prompts you, it's optional to get into your VR headset and experience it that way. That to me makes sense. Other than that, again, like I said, I'm not really an expert in VR. I don't own any of it, so this is my pure speculation on how I would want to do things. And I realize the hardware specs that I'm talking about right now exist at a very, very high price point. So I'm not entirely sure if that would even be possible here in the next few years. But like with anything else, you know, you've got naysayers, including myself. And if history's taught us anything, is that we are unequivocally wrong, with the exception of flying cars. We're not getting flying cars anytime soon. That's unfortunately a sad fact. But with that, I'll ask you guys, what would you like to see in a PlayStation VR 2.0 for the PlayStation 5, especially given the fact that they're going to bake in the hardware support, or the rumor is that they're going to bake in the hardware support on a hardware level. So please let me know. Like always, please rate, comment, subscribe, and most of all, comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking. All right? I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.